Hello from the Disney Magic. So we are on board today. We're actually here to check out Lookout Key, which we're going to have a different video on, but I want to give you guys a full tour of this ship. So this is the oldest Disney Cruise Line ship, the first Disney Cruise Line ship, and you'll see some really just things that are a little bit different from the Wish or the Dream or the Fantasy, but are just great additions and little reasons that we love this ship so much. We're going to start out in the Atrium area. So we are on deck 3 right now. And in the Atrium of every single Disney ship, you're going to see an Atrium statue. So in here we have Mickey the Seafarer, and right behind Mickey is the first main dining room. This is Lumiere's. So this is going to be a French-inspired menu. This is more of the upscale feel, but any Disney main dining areas are really family-friendly, of course, and there is no required dress code in terms of, black tie or anything like that, but they do ask that you don't come in your swimwear without shoes on, kind of the basics. This is going to be the deck that you're actually going to enter the ship on, and when you turn to your right, you'll have your Port Adventures desk. So if you have any questions about your Port Adventures, if you want to make any last-minute Port Adventure reservations, you can do that over there. And then across the way is going to be guest services, so let's head that way and check those out. But before we do, just to know that there are the main, so the midship elevator banks are right here, kind of on the other side of this wall. So past the elevator banks here is going to be guest services. This is where you're going to head if you have any questions, concerns, if you need to do simple things like just change the payment form that you have on your Disney Navigator app connected to your reservation, or if you have something that's going on and you just need a little assistance. This is where you'll head on deck 3. We're going to head over to deck 3 forward, and this is going to be after hours area. So this is the kind of bar area. It's really more adult only locations, but there are going to be some locations that will be available to all families throughout the day, but then at a certain time at night it will change over to the adult only area. This first spot here is going to be Fathoms. So they're going to use this space for a lot of the different activities that they do. If there's going to be like game shows, things like that, there is a full bar that's set up kind of in that back area over there. But this is kind of a cool spot. I love these like banquet seating. I don't know if that's the right term, but I love these kind of seatings that are set into the wall here. A lot of dance parties they'll have here, trivia, things like that. So this is a fun spot. And like I said, it will be open to families during the day, but then it will go to adult only at a certain time of night. Going around Fathoms, so Fathoms kind of is the central area of this adult only district, but then around this area is going to be Keys, which is a piano bar. It's not open right now, but this is where they're going to have some of the beverage tastings and then some musical performances throughout the trip. If we move past Keys, this is the first shop on the ship. So this is Sea Treasures, and this is going to have some of the princess dresses, some Mickey and Minnie Mouse ears, things like that that you can kind of use for dress up. Right past Sea Treasures is going to be O'Gill's Pub. So this is the pub destination on the ship, and this is going to have some TVs that are running with some sports games and things like that. This is also a really big spot for trivia. One of our favorite spots, there is a special beer that is here. It's the O'Gill's beer, so definitely try that out. If we head back out of O'Gill's, we can actually cut through Fathoms, but I did want to show you guys that outside of each of those locations, you're going to see upcoming activities and events listed here, but these are also going to be on your Disney Navigator app. So be sure that you have that downloaded, because you can go through and you can actually heart the activities that you want to do, so they kind of show up filtered as activities that you're interested in doing. So we're going to head to the aft of the ship, and this means that we're passing the Lumiere dining room. So this is one of the main dining rooms that we talked about, and like I said, this is going to have more French-inspired menu, very low-key in terms of there's no entertainment that happens there, and it's just more of a you're there for your dinner, which is kind of nice, honestly. Over in this area here, this is actually a reimagined area. It used to be the Promenade Lounge, and now it is called the Soul Cat Lounge. So this is going to be where a lot of the activities take place that include families, because this is open to all ages. But it was based on the Soul Cat Lounge, so it's based on the movie Soul. So let's go check it out a little bit. Heading past the Soul Cat Lounge is where Rapunzel's Royal Table is. So this is another one of the main dining locations, and this is going to be a dining location that has entertainment included with it. So this is they're going to be celebrating Rapunzel's birthday, and they have a whole kind of song and dance that takes place in the middle of, or kind of to the end of, the dining room area. So this one does get a little loud, but it's super fun, really nice, especially if you have little ones. They'll enjoy it a lot. So we headed up to deck 4, and this is where Animator's palette is. Right now they're using it for the excursion, so they'll have you come meet here to head out on your excursion if you have anything set up. Right now we're in Nassau, so they'll use this space. But Animator's palette is going to be the third of the 3 main dining rooms, and this one's really neat. They have a lot of screens that come to life, just a really cool looking space. Heading towards the front of the ship is where we're going to see Diamond and Wishes and Shutters. So Diamond and Wishes is going to be where you can check out some different jewelry, things like that. They do host some events in here as well that are of course around the shopping experience. And then Shutters is the onboard photography that they have. So you can come over here, you can purchase a picture package in advance, or you can go and kind of select individual picture that you'd like, but you'll use these machines here to check out the pictures that were taken. And then this is of course going to be your checkout area. There is a portrait studio as well with Shutters, so you can actually go in and get specific pictures taken, but there's also going to be backdrops that are set up each night before dinner, kind of in the atrium area, that you can also take pictures at. Past this area is where you're going to see an art gallery. So this is some art that's for sale. It's pretty limited in terms of the number of pieces that are available, but that's going to kind of sandwich the D Lounge. So the D Lounge is going to have a ton of different offerings for entertainment, and this is really going to be open to the entire family. So you'll see that they try to kind of keep the adult exclusive entertainment to that after hours area, and then these other spaces are going to be more for the entire family to enjoy.
Again, don't forget to shop to commemorate. Now, what to shop for? The first store I'd like to talk about is called the Fine Store, Del Sol.
We're heading back past the atrium, and over in this area is where the Disney Vacation Club desk is, so you can go over there. If you are a Disney Vacation Club member, there is going to be exclusive offerings throughout the sailings for DVC members. If you're not a DVC member, you can of course always go over there to become one. And if we head this way, so we're going to head towards the front of the ship, this is where we're going to have the 2 other shops, Mickey's Mainsail and Whitecaps, as well as the Walt Disney Theater. So Mickey's Mainsail and Whitecaps are both only open, as well as Sea Treasures, the other shop there, are both only open when the ship is sailing. So they're not open when you're at port, so just be aware of that if you are thinking about checking something out there. Past the 2 shops is where the Walt Disney Theater is going to be. That's where all the main stage shows are. Right now they're using this space for a meet and greet, so Thor is over there meeting guests. But kind of past this area, there are going to be 2 bars called Preludes that are, you can stop there before you head into the theater. That's where they have popcorn, all different things, including of course a full service bar. And then Walt Disney Theater is where you'll have your main stage show each evening. So heading up to 5, we're at midship right now. So if we go forward, this is going to be the Oceaneer Lab. This is the first youth club that we've seen, and this club is going to be for 3 to 10-year-olds. And this is just one of the spaces that they have for them. Deck 5 is going to have some staterooms that are located forward as well as aft, but kind of in the middle, midship, is where we're going to see the activities and different spaces for those activities to take place. If you're looking for characters while you're on board, the Atrium is really where you're going to see majority of the characters. So right now we have Rapunzel down on deck 4. Over in the corner over there, and then Daisy is in the corner over here on deck 5. But this is all listed in the Navigator app, so if you're looking for characters, you can actually filter to see where characters are throughout your sailing. Making our way towards the back of the ship, this is the Oceaneer Club, so same age limits for this, so 3 to 10-year-olds, and this is going to be more there's a lot more theming in this area. So this is where there's the Marvel Superhero Academy, Disney Fairies Pixie Hollow, Andy's room. So there's a big slide that basically is made as if it is Slinky Dog, and then Disney Club Junior area. Past the Oceaneer area is going to be the It's a Small World nursery. So this is the area for the littlest ones. Children do have to be at least 6 months old to sail with Disney Cruise Line, and that's also when they'll be able to take advantage of the It's a Small World nursery. So all of the other youth clubs, there's no additional price to take advantage of those, but with the It's a Small World nursery, there is a hourly rate. It's very nominal, but it also does require advanced reservations, where the other Disney Kids Clubs don't require that. So just be aware of that, and you can make those through the Disney Cruise Line app in advance of your cruise. The Buena Vista Theater is going to be right past the nursery, and this is where they're going to have different movies playing throughout the sailing. You can always come over here and you can see what's playing. So right now, Inside Out just recently came out, or Inside Out 2, I should say, just recently came out. So that's one of the main ones. But all of these will be listed on the screens out here, and of course also in that Navigator app. Heading up to deck 6, 7, and 8, this is where there's just going to be staterooms. So one of the nice things about this, if you are looking for where something is while you're on the ship, if you go to the elevator banks, you'll see one of these lists here, and that will show where everything is categorized. So you can take a look. If you're looking for Bippity Boppy Boutique, you can go look at the youth activities and see that that's going to be on deck 10 forward. So we are now up on deck 9, and this is where a lot of the other offerings are going to be, including cabanas, which is a buffet style dining area. It's open for breakfast and lunch, and you'll always be able to see what the times are right here. But lots of different offerings inside. Heading out onto the pool deck on deck 9, the first kind of quick service offering you have here is Daisy's Delights. So it's not open right now, it will be open for lunch, but they have a build a bowl. So it's basically like a, building like a rice bowl. And then this area here usually has some fruit, cookies, and then some sandwiches. So they're not made to order sandwiches, but there's things like paninis, all different things like that. Over in this area is going to be the Aqua Lab, so it's a lot of kind of Donald themed areas here. We have the Nephews Splash Zone, so this is going to be ages for ages up to 3 years old. So this is a good one if you have little ones, so they can kind of walk around in it. And then you also have this pool over here, which is going to have pretty not super low depth, so it's a good one if you have those little ones. This is a good spot. What's nice too is that there is a lot of seating over here, so if you want to kind of hang out in this area, you can do that. This is going to be the other area here that's kind of a splash pad, and then we also do have the Twist and Spout slide up here too. Heading around this area is also where we're going to have the Duck Inn Diner. So this is going to have some different offerings, like there's shawarma there, there's going to be burgers, things like that. So all of this is going to open up later on in the day. Right now we're kind of heading out early in the morning, so there's not a ton open other than Cabanas for breakfast, as well as one of the main dining locations. And then you can always order room service as well, but these will open later on in the day, and some of them will actually stay open until later in the evening. So just be sure to check that Navigator app to see what those times are. Frozone Treats is going to be a bar, but then also some other specialty drinks. So if you're looking for something for the little ones, some mocktails, some frozen drinks, that will be over here. And this leads into even more pools, as well as some more dining options. So there's tons of seating around on the deck here. And this is also where you're going to be able to see the funnel vision. So let's head this way. And we are going to go past Pinocchio's Pizzeria. Of course, this is where they're going to have some pizza that's available. There's also a full bar here. So if you need to grab a drink, this is a good spot to do it. And then this area here, we have the funnel vision. And then this area right there is actually a pool that they're able to kind of put an area over or put a section over it, and they use that for the stage. This is where your main stage deck parties are going to take place, and then you have some hot tubs around here as well. Continuing to make our way, we're going to go past Edge, which is one of the tween clubs. So it's going to be for 11 to 14-year-olds, and this is a really cool space. It has some great interactive areas, and again, this is for 11 to 14-year-olds. If you kind of go the opposite way of Edge, this is going to be the adult-only section. So in here, you're going to have a pool area, you'll have Signals, which is the bar there, and then you will also have the Cove Cafe. So that's going to be where you can get some specialty coffee drinks, things like that. But this is going to be a much more kind of relaxed area. They do make sure that children aren't here, so that will be, if you do try to bring kiddos back here, they will ask you to kind of go back to the family areas, but there's tons of different spaces no matter what age group you have on board. Heading inside, you also have this Senses Spa and Salon. So this is also an adult-only section. So that's why it's kind of in the adult-only area. And these treatments, it's a full-service spa and salon, so you can reserve these treatments in advance through the Disney Cruise Line app. You can also check here once you get on board to see if there's any availability as well. Right nearby Senses Spa is going to be the Bippity Boppity Boutique. So of course this is for little ones if they'd like to do a princess makeover, but this is going to be up on deck 10. Deck 10 is also where the concierge lounge is. So this is going to be for guests that book a concierge level stateroom, and it has different amenities in there. And you can check out what all those are going to be by looking on the Disney Cruise Line app or on the website, but lots of different offerings here as well. There is a smoking area on board, so that's going to be past the adult only section here, and that's where they ask if you are going to be smoking. Of course, that's where you're going, but we're going to head the opposite direction, and we're going to go check out Cove Cafe, which, like I mentioned before, has specialty coffees. They also do have a bar over there, and this is also where they're going to do some of the drink seminars. So if you do the whiskey seminar, things like that, that will be in this area as well. Hello.
Inquiry? Huh? Inquiry. You know how much you pay? Not off the top of my head.
Hi, how are you?
Good? Good, thank you.
Are you getting up?
If we head outside onto the deck on deck 10, this is where the aqua dunk is going to be. So this is the drop floor slide. So you actually go from up here and the floor drops out, and then it wraps all the way around and you exit down here. Super fun. This is definitely one if you are not a thrill seeker, probably not one you want to do. But deck 10 is also just going to have some good areas just to hang out on deck. This is a spot that I like to go to because it's usually a little bit more quiet than it is on deck 9. So Vibe is going to be the teen club for 14-year-olds to 17-year-olds, and you can access it by going up the stairs once you get to deck 10 over here in the midship. Really neat area upstairs. It feels like kind of a loft apartment would feel. I'll insert some pictures, but again, this is going to be for 14 to 17-year-olds, and it's going to have less kind of scheduled activities and more areas for teens just to hang out. That is going to do it for our tour of the Disney Magic. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you have not subscribed already, be sure to do so. Like, comment below, and if you are looking to plan a Disney Cruise Line vacation or any Disney vacation, be sure to reach out to K&B Travel for complimentary assistance.